There's been so much going on in my life, you guys. I have so much to tell you guys. So if you've been following me for a while, you know I recently moved. Um, I recently relocated from Atlanta, and the update on that is I love it here. I have like no complaints, like none whatsoever. Like I moved. I've always lived in like the suburban area. I've always lived in the outskirts of Atlanta, so outside the city. So when I got my place this time, when I moved, I made sure I stayed in the city. I love it. Like I like the fact of being able to like step outside my apartment and go to a nice restaurant, meet my friends. I'm downtown. I'm right in the middle of downtown, so I adore that. No complaints. Like it's almost surreal how much I enjoy it. It's almost surreal how much I enjoy where I live right now. It's just everything to me. The second thing is, if you guys have been following me as well, I was doing like a dating in Atlanta series, and I would get on here and talk about my dating situations in Atlanta. And I think the last time we spoke about it, I had told you guys that I came up with a guy, and I really, really, really like him. And when I moved here, it put us in like a long distance relationship type of ordeal. And that's not what he was expecting. Like, I probably didn't tell him till about 2 weeks down the line that I was moving. Um, it was just unexpected. Um, so we have been managing that. But let me tell you how things are going. For me, it's what I prayed for. I am somebody that likes to focus on my career and my goals, and now I have family, and then, you know what I mean, a lot time for my relationship. So for me, this is what I pray for. I pray for like kind of like a relationship that would allow me some space. Um, I'm able to handle my goals and take care of my family and, dedicate time to my relationship. For him, he was not eager. He was not excited about the fact of me moving. But we agreed that we would make it work, right? So we agreed to kind of like do like staycations and like meet up and travel like once a month to see each other and to spend time with each other. So I just actually came back from spending time with him this past weekend. It was everything. What I realized is that, okay, so every week we do a check in, and we check in and we conversate and talk about things that may not be going well, right? Like in our relationship, like what can we fix? He hardly ever has anything to say. Like I'm super duper accommodating. To be honest, he never has anything to say, but I always probably have like one thing I want to say, um, and it's always communication. I come from a relationship with a chronic cheater, chronic. And one thing that I will say is, even though it was difficult for me to see at first when he was cheating, is I used to be like, when does he have time? We're always together. But I realized that because I was always at his house, that during the day he would have like hours and hours of us not communicating. For a while, it didn't bother me because I'm like, I see him in the morning and then he's home by like 9 o'clock, like no big deal. But when women were coming out telling me he was cheating, I'm like, this is when he cheats, right? This is when he cheats. It's when he's away from the house because he comes home every night. He's there. You know what I mean? So he's cheating when he's out during the day. So communication, consistent communication is a really big deal to me. I want us to sporadically be texting each other doing it during the day. Like how, I don't know. Do you even like me if you're not making sure I'm straight during the day? Like are you even how can you go like hours throughout the day and not check on me? So most of the time, I ain't gonna say most, I'm gonna say 70% of the time we are always communicating. But there are times when we're not, and he'll tell me something like, work was really busy, and that is so not okay with me because it wasn't that busy. It wasn't that busy where you don't have 10 seconds to make sure I'm straight. I'm a nurse practitioner. I save lives for a living. You feel me? And I might not have a time at 1 o'clock, but sometime throughout the day, I'm going to have some time to make sure you're straight. And he just doesn't always hit that mark. He's so good at everything else that I think initially I kind of like ignored it, but I realized that because I've been through so much in the past that it's a really big deal to me. I've also learned that relationships take a lot of work. And I think that up until Monday or so, like after our weekend, I realized like up until then I'm like, yeah, am I willing to do this? Like to keep having to am I willing to put the work in? Like why do we have to have the same conversation all the time? Right? Like if I'm telling you how important it is to me and you don't do it, then it makes me feel like you're not taking my feelings into consideration. Um, so I think I've been spending the last couple of days trying to figure out like, is it a deal? It's a deal. It's a deal because I dealt with it in the past and I didn't like it. And there's certain things for me that are non-negotiable. And that's one of them. So, yeah. So we just had a talk this past weekend about it. And then probably, what's today, Thursday? Probably Tuesday, I feel like we were going through it all over again. Like, I feel like our communication was just not the best. And unfortunately, the work that it takes to make relationships work, I feel like I'm not ready for. I just, like, how many times am I supposed to say it? At some point in time, I start to believe you just don't do it because you don't want to. And that's unfortunate. Like, I want you to make sure that you do all the things that make me happy, but it's just unfortunate that you don't do that one thing that is so important to me because because I had this situation in the past that just made me feel like, So I realized that it's going to take probably some work that I can't promise I'm willing to do, which is so not like me because I'm like an overachiever. Like, I'm going to do whatever it takes in my power to make things okay in all aspects of my life. So the fact that this right here is making me feel like, you know what I mean? Like, ugh, it's frustrating. I just think I'm tired of talking about it. I just think I'm tired of bringing it up. I also feel like, how can you not do the one thing that I'm telling you makes me feel uncomfortable? And I think you don't do it because you don't want to. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's where we are. I realized through this process, I think in the past I've known I'm stubborn. I'm real stubborn. And when I get stubborn and when I've said what I've had to say, I don't feel like I should have to keep repeating myself. So probably should voice these things to him. To be open and fair. I just think I'm so bothered that I'm not really comfortable voicing them to him. I'm just kind of on I'm going to treat you like you treat me, which is not fair, but that's how I feel. So when he communicates great, I communicate great. When he doesn't, I don't. But I want a fulfilling relationship. I want a best friend and a lover. I want somebody that hears what I have to say and takes heed. I want somebody with a lot of compassion and understanding for who I am. And I feel like some things you can't teach or show people, right? You either have it or you don't. Yeah, that's where I am. So life is good. I'm super eager to know what you guys think, to hear what you guys think. Super eager. I'm super eager for you guys' opinions because I'm like, I know I'm not tripping. You know what I mean? But anyway, please continue to like, share, and repost my videos and comment below. Let me know what you guys think because maybe like 30% of me is like, because he's excellent at so many other things. And then the other part of me is like, but the one part of you, the one thing that really matters to you, he's not good at. And how long is that going to last, So, yeah, comment below.